Hey everyone, I'm currently enrolled in a human sexuality course at my university, and one of our assignments is to do a YouTube video, about one aspect of sexuality, and this is mine. Just a word of caution, I'm not going to be getting explicit in this video, but there is some frank talk about sexuality. Let's do it. I mean the video. I'm here to talk about paraphilias, which is a clinical term for sexual deviation from typical behaviors, but more specifically, they're behaviors which the people who practice them depend on for becoming aroused and to reach orgasm or satisfaction. While there are dozens and dozens of identified paraphilias, I'm going to be talking specifically about non-coercive paraphilias, which involve consent. Maybe I'll just leave that up there as a reminder, because some of these have potentially coercive and harmful capabilities, and that's another discussion. I apologize in advance for avoiding the complexities and nuance these deserve, but I hope it's a reasonable summary. One of the most common paraphilias that most people probably have at least heard about is Sadomasochism, which is sometimes combined with bondage and dominance and submission, as the acronym BDSM, because these practices often go together and have a community who advocate for their acceptance by wider society as safe and healthy sexual expression. The common thread which all these activities share is power, and how it's used in a sexual context for pleasure. Sadism is the derivation of sexual pleasure from giving someone else pain. Spanking, flogging, dripping hot wax are common methods of doing this. Masochism is its opposite, deriving sexual pleasure from receiving pain. Bondage is the act of being restrained or constrained, from simple silk ties on the wrists to completely bound with networks of crisscrossed and knotted ropes, and also psychological restraint by rules and commands. Dominance and submission is, respectively, asserting control over someone else or giving up control to another person. Fetishism is becoming aroused by objects or sometimes activities that aren't typically used in sexual ways, like shoes or boots, leather, furs that are currently not on the animal. That'd be a different video. Urine or smoking. People with fetishes need the object to be present to reach satisfaction. Otherwise, it'd probably be a kink. Transvestism is cross-dressing or wearing clothing of one's opposite gender, not just for fun, but because it causes sexual excitement. This distinguishes the paraphilia from drag, which is mainly for performance and entertainment. Finally, partialism is related to fetishism in that it focuses on parts, hence the name, but specifically the human body, and which aren't genital related. So partialism can be sexual desire for feet or breasts, but also eyes, ears, armpits, or even hair. Now, one tool psychiatrists use to diagnose mental disorders is called the DSM, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. It's been useful for them to have a codified list of disorders from which to work, but it's not without criticism. Something that has changed in the transition from DSM-4 to DSM-5, apart from the Roman numeral thing, is the reclassification of paraphilias. It's no longer officially considered pathology just because a person has one. The paraphilia must be causing, quote, distress or impairment to the individual, or paraphilia whose satisfaction has entailed personal harm or risk of harm to others, unquote, to qualify as a paraphilic disorder. This distinguishes between pathological conditions requiring treatment and sexual behavior which may be unusual or atypical, but still healthy. This is a big change and an important one, because, as many groups have advocated, just because your sexual expression is different from the norm doesn't mean you're not healthy. For people with paraphilic disorders, the treatments can range from simple cognitive behavioral adjustments, therapy, to SSRIs like Prozac or Zoloft, and in extreme cases, anti-androgenic drugs that suppress sexuality. I hope this video has been educational. Thanks for watching. One of our assignments is to do a YouTube video about one aspect of...